A new Jeep, the size of a Toyota Land Cruiser, or maybe even a little bigger, 643 kilometers of range, and starting at a price of $60,000 US. I mean, what's not to love? I think this is going to be an absolute winner. Guys, Jeep as a brand, they are really struggling. I mean, look at their performance outside of the US. It's even worse than it is inside the United States. Jeep dealerships have way too many cars. They're overstocked. I mean, really bad kind of crisis levels of cars just sitting in dealership lots, gathering dust. But they've got a new car coming. I think this new, yes, it's electric SUV, I guess you'd say it, mid-size to large SUV. I think it might be their most popular vehicle. It looks fantastic. The specifications are great. And it's exactly the kind of car or exactly the kind of SUV that people really want. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Guys, I have an SUV. I mean, technically it's an SUV. The Xpeng G6. I think it's great. But my cousin, he wants this Jeep. And when I saw him in San Francisco just a few months ago, and he was like, Sam, I really want a boxy shaped vehicle, you know, more of a traditional SUV. I don't want one of these kind of like, these Model Y type shape, Xpeng type shape. I really like that car, it's nice, but my thing is this more square traditional SUV. And he said, my wife's the same. And since then, I've heard quite a few people say this. That's one of the key reasons, guys, why I think this new Jeep Recon EV is going to be really popular. The 2024 Jeep Recon electric off-roader will have a huge amount of power. It's going to have 600 horsepower. In fact, just over 600 horsepower. That's 447 kilowatt. Recon is the name of the US maker's new large off-road SUV, which will roll out of its Toluca, Mexico factory in the second half of 2024, in the second half of 2025 as the first electric Jeep on sale in North America. And it looks traditional. It looks like the kind of thing Jeep buyers would want. It's been confirmed as one of 3 new electric Jeeps alongside the luxury Jeep Wagoneer S and the city-sized Jeep Avenger. Guys, the Jeep Avenger, it is here on sale in Australia right now. It's a bit expensive though. It's around $50,000 for what is essentially a micro car. It's very small. It's only 4.2 meters long. Whereas the Jeep Recon is a much bigger vehicle. This is a family vehicle. It looks like a traditional shaped car and I quite like it. In fact, I think it's one of the best looking Jeeps I've ever seen. Jeep's former CEO, Christian Munier, said the Recon EV could tackle the mighty Rubicon Trail. This is a serious off-road vehicle. So this is not like a soft road vehicle. This is a serious proper off-road vehicle and it's a pretty big car as well. That trail is considered one of the most challenging off-road trails in the world. Honestly, it does look amazing, guys. The Rubicon Trail, I've seen quite a few videos on YouTube of the trail. It'd just be a lot of fun to do that. I'd love to do that one day. The rocky terrain, the narrow paths, the steep hills, the weird kind of shaped rocks make the Rubicon Trail tough for even seasoned off-road warriors. People who even, used to doing this kind of off-roading. It's difficult. So Jeep is saying this new EV is going to be made to tackle that kind of terrain. And that's the kind of vehicle that the market doesn't really have. We don't really have, especially here in Australia, we don't really have a proper off-roading electric SUV yet. These new images reveal the Jeep Recon EV in production form while charging, and it looks like a traditional vehicle. It looks really good. I think they've just absolutely nailed the design of this vehicle. I know it's not breaking the mold or anything. It's not, it's not a real standout, but I think this is the kind of thing people really want. And in fact, the shape of it actually reminds me a little bit of a Ford Bronco. The interior as well. The interior, I think it's okay. What do you guys think about it? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the narrow screens. I'm going to guess that Jeep might actually change these screens when this model goes into production, because those screens to me, I mean, imagine looking at a map on that, it'd be way too small. So I'm going to guess that this is just a testing vehicle and the production version will have a bigger screen in the middle, but the driver screen looks fine. The interior looks like a normal interior. It looks like it does have buttons. I know people want buttons now apparently, so that's a really good thing. The photos showed that it includes Jeep's signature Select Terrain System. And you can see rock and mud modes on the traction interface system. Other options like snow, sport, and tow are expected to be included as well. What's the range? Well, the range of this model here looks really short and not good enough. It looks like it has only a range of 223 miles based on basically the spy shots we've got of the interior. 223 miles. I mean, I would assume that considering the Jeep Wagoneer S has a range of over 300 miles, this will have a similar range to that because it's a similar vehicle. So my guess would be for the long range version of this, I think you're going to be looking at around 340 miles of range. Is that enough for off-road vehicle owners? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think in the comments. The Wagoneer S, when's it coming? Apparently it's going to be arriving in Jeep dealerships in January 2025, starting at $72,000. But the Recon, I'm not sure when that's coming. Apparently it will debut in early 2025, but we don't know when mass production will begin. Prices though are going to be a bit cheaper than the Jeep Wagoneer, around $60,000 US. I hope this comes to Australia. I'm a big fan. Apparently there will be a Rubicon edition, so a more off-road edition of this vehicle. That's going to cost around $80,000 US. Sounds like a decent, I think the price is not bad. I think one of the reasons Jeep vehicles in America and in Australia haven't been selling that well is because the prices have been a bit too high. But I think if this comes in starting at 60,000, that's reasonable. The Rubicon edition, 80,000, I think that's reasonable. It's a big vehicle. Looks like it's around 5 meters long. So it looks like it's about the size of a Toyota Land Cruiser, meaning that price would be pretty good. So how fast is it actually? Well, apparently performance 0 to 60 miles an hour will be around 3.5 seconds. Now, I've also seen another report, guys, saying the range will be a lot more than what I suggested before. One report online says that it will have 643 kilometers of driving range on a single charge on the WLTP cycle. Now, if that is actually true, that's like more than, 400 miles? 400 miles of range. So I honestly think there wouldn't, even people who are, not too sold on having an off-road EV because they think, oh, what if I run out of power? I think you've got more than 400 miles of range. That's not going to be an issue. I think you're going to think, actually, this thing's going to be right up my wheelhouse, So to my cousin, I hope this is the kind of vehicle you're after, mate. I'm a big fan of it. In fact, I'm a real big fan of it. I think it just looks fantastic. I think it's the best looking Jeep that I've ever seen personally. Guys, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once the Stellantis group took over Jeep, it's been a bit of a nightmare, a bit of a disaster. Jeep dealerships in the United States, they're understandably furious. Stellantis is actually blaming Jeep dealerships. It's saying it's not our fault. Blame Jeep. The problems are with them. What problems am I talking about? Well, for one, Jeep sales have gone down by 10% so far this year. That doesn't sound like much, does it? But if you consider the fact that Jeep sales have fallen now by nearly 50% over the last 5 years, and their sales have fallen every single year for 5 straight years in a row, then you can see that something's very, very wrong at Jeep. The brand is in big trouble. Bizarrely, Stellantis is claiming they're going to grow Jeep sales by 50% over the next 2.5 years. No one knows exactly how they're going to do it, but Stellantis claim Jeep will be revived from the dead. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Is this really true? Is Jeep going to be revived? Well, Stellantis CEO said this.